But again, what I'm doing here is the history of art without text. That's all I cared about. Can I do the history of art? And history, by history I mean the evolution historically, dated. These are all dated and they're all going forward. Every one of them. She's a very famous artist. Anyway, and you can see where it's going because it's getting more conceptual. There's an AIDS guy. She was embedding text on her subjects. Very famous Iranian photographer. But anyway, so it's getting way modern, up to where that was as far as I could go at the time. I'm not doing a second edition or anything. But again, there's the formal documentation.
Oh, this is Chuck Close? I thought he was a painter. He did photography? Or you mean
she?
No, I was saying Chuck Close.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, Lorna Simpson, I see.
Lorna
Doug
Simpson.
He did the photo shoots of stuff.
She is and did.
Okay.
No, she does a lot of art. But at that time, that was where we went, okay?
Okay.
I don't know what this says. What does it say?
3 incompatible components, being sheepish about art.
This
7.
is an example of taking very famous, not just famous, but historical, blessed, or whatever you want, real, academically formalized. These are historical, important artists, and literally combining it, which makes it simpler, okay? And what are they called?
3 incompatible components, being sheepish about art, 7 BLTs.
Why are they
the
called
last
7
meal.
BLTs? Is the beginning, okay? Now, this is a whorl. However, instead of using Elizabeth Taylor or any of his famous friends and all that, I am using what? I'm using a sheep. Why? I'll get to that later. Why am I doing this?
You got Marilyn Monroe's hair and a sheep's face and then individuals' eyes.
Why am I? What is
those
this
are Marilyn
about?
Monroe. This is
what is this about?
It's a cut up.
Now that was the first. This is the first one of several sequences. Okay. Now why have I done this? And I'll tell you in a minute. I did it for historical reason. In many things that I've read by and about Andy Warhol, one of the things he was trying to express why he silk screens and why that guy, I don't even have to, I got from people doing all this stuff. It doesn't matter. I wish art was cloned.
Ah,
that's
Dolly. That's Dolly. I'm with you. Yeah, that's Dolly.
Real.
Whoa,
okay.
That's so good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now the next BLT here is there are 3 artists involved here. This artist, and that artist. Each one has their name with a B or an L or a T at the end. BLT is a sandwich. There's the toast. And in between the toast pieces are 3 artists, okay? B, L, and T, and we'll get there when we get there.
And so these are all different BLTs?
Everyone
in each
has
one
3
is
artists.
a B, an L, and a T.
Each one is a B or an L or a T, okay? And the strips are the bacon, obviously, okay?
Yeah.
And again, these aren't just kind of random things. These are.
Oh, and then this was the Last Supper, no dessert.
And this is the last meal.
The last meal. The last meal.
And where's Christ? What's that? This is a Warhol picture of the Last Supper, and that's a Warhol picture of an electric chair.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And everybody gets their choice of a last meal. So here's the documentation for what we all just looked at.
Oh, I see. Jennifer Bartlett, Jacques Lipschitz, Mark Toby, BLT. Linda Banglis, Robert Longo, Rick Tervanis. Yeah.
So that's how
William Blake, Richard Long, and Anthony
it's real.
This is great. Yeah.
It's real.
Wow.
And they make interesting sandwiches because you're bringing artists together who are antithetical totally to each other except in one way. They said, "Fuck you all, I'm doing my art my way." Goodbye. What's this? I can't
7 compatible components.
I have no idea. Oh.
A short introduction
okay.
to art history, television.
What's the first one?
A short introduction to art history, television.
Okay. There it is.
Oh, Sister Wendy.
And why is it? Sister Wendy, you know.
I love Sister Wendy. And then
Okay.
John Cage, the famous
John Cage, the piano.
435.
Here's
yeah.
what this is really about. It is, in this sense, it actually is. This is a life-size cutout that stands up, and she's holding a cutout. The only thing empty is in the center. She's holding an antique TV set, 2-dimensional. Behind there is a projector, is a pad, is a screen, and it shows the history of art. A little slideshow of the history of art. So if you walk into the room, you're going to see a piano.
Yeah.
Very personal. Cage's music there, which is silent, right?
Mm-hmm. 435.
That's 4 minutes 33 seconds.
433, I mean, yeah.
It's
so-
silent.
Yeah.
She's there standing life size in a cutout, so it's supported. It's thick, so it stands. And on this screen, you're going to watch the history of art. When you guess what the soundtrack is going to be? It's going to be the ambient sound of the museum, because there's going to be a microphone in every museum that pipes in to this room, which is in a special room. Okay? That makes sense. So it's an installation, is what it is. So unlike these, this has got to be in a room by itself, and all the microphones from all the galleries will be piped into this room, which is the whole point of this. The score has no notes. The score is symbolic of whatever sounds are going on at the moment. And all the sounds of the moment will be gathered from all the galleries, and they'll all be piped into this room. So it's more than just like some of the stuff. Anyway, that's it. This is a little more complex and a little more emotional. Frank Stella, who's still alive, great artist, all kinds of stuff. He does sculpture and prints, and he's become more of a sculptor. Huge objects. And I forgot the date. But anyway, at one time, what he did is he did. We can find out here. But X number of prints. And if you look carefully, that's what those prints look like.
Oh, wow.
Now, why is it in this format? Because each one of those prints represented a synagogue that was torched in Poland. They're big. They aren't huge, but they're big. Each one has a name. Each one was torched. And he did a series of prints in memoriam of each one of these. At the same time, I happen to know from my stuff that during Auschwitz, they had people doing art and compositions, music. And I thought, I'm going to take a piece of music from a concentration camp, and I'm going to make the notes that he used to represent those torched synagogues, and each one will be its own thing. Now,
and this was a song that was
to
written
clarify
in
it, there they are.
Ah.
A is that one, B is that, C is that, D is that, E is that, F is that, and G is that. There's the scale. So every G,
These dates are when he
those
made
are the
prints?
this is exactly the names of the synagogues and the date they were burned.
What?
No, the date he made
The day
the
he
painting.
made them.
Sorry, the
date he made
Yeah.
them.
The painting.
Because it would have been 1938.
Oh yeah, no, it was right. But this is when he made these prints. So I took each of 8 prints, 7. What is it? 2, 4, 6, 7. That are the scale, because then it goes back to A, and just made that the music of one of the pieces that one of the non-survivor composition guys made. And there is the piece, and that means it burns. And that was because Sabret means that. There's the composer.
Mordecai
Didn't
Gebertje.
survive.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This is based on minimalism. It's a game. Each piece represents a very famous piece by a minimal artist. And as you can tell, what's the game? It's a minimal game. There is no game. There's no rules. Okay? Got it? There is the money. There are the pieces. There's the rules. There's the dice. The dice has one on it. Just one. Some of the dice have nothing on it.
Minimal
Anyway,
dice.
okay. This This is based on actually a famous photograph by Lee Friedland. And what I did is I took that photograph and have him photographing the photograph. So it's huge. It's a big print. This is really a physically big print because it incorporates all these, him photographing all these prints that he photographed, all these images he photographed. This is based on, oh, it's so hard to explain all this stuff. I hope I'm getting through. Anyway, Rothko did 3 paintings. He did a lot of paintings. I took 3 paintings and I incorporated an image by Rauschenberg and an image by can't think about. We'll look at his name, and this is a triptych, and I guess we should look at the title because I don't remember. I'm on 4 other projects. This is history to me. This is way back. What is it?
Hit and Run triptych.
Hit and Run triptych. So it goes like that. And that, okay, I'll tell you what this one is about because you may not know. It's called 3 Words Little. Woo! Why not 3 little words? Why 3 words little? Because that's Guernica, and unbelievably, a young Iranian immigrant went into the Museum of Modern Art, not fully, fluent in English, put 3 lies or something out of order, and I'm with spray paint right across Guernica. I mean, this is insane. So immediately everything got shut down, and it was unbelievable. And
What year was this?
I'd have to look it up, probably in the 70s or something like that.
Prior to the revolution?
Yeah.
No, the 79
They still
revolution.
had it, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this caused, this was, how do you express it? Of all things, Guernica and Picasso, and he sprays 3 lies, I forgot the term, there's out of order, okay? 3 words only, he said lies anyway, but it was 3 words is what it was. There were 3 words there. So, the irony of this is he turns out to be one of the big art gallery owners in New York City. I'm trying to think of his name. Well, look, I used to visit him every year. He was so successful you could vomit. You go in there and you see all these rare Andy Warhol installations and stuff. I'm going, why doesn't they shoot this guy?
Yeah, that was like, he didn't go to
you
prison?
don't know, nothing. And the first thing the museum did is they obliterated every photograph taken of that. They did not want people to see that. It's just one of those political badoo-badoo-badoo. I didn't get the image. I got a copy of the image. So I know exactly where these words were. And I thought, great. I don't need to do that. This is the thing. 3 words little. They were. He didn't even know the language that well. He couldn't even express himself that well. But he did this severe comment, which, coming from where he came to this rich country where people worship this nothing, that painting is worth probably $500 in canvas and oil. Billions in real money. You go, how does this guy resolve this kind of thing? So politically, it was a political statement. He was against this whole monetarizing of art and all this kind of stuff. And that was the way he did it. You know, it was like graffiti during the heyday of graffiti. Fortunately, they were able to really remove it. But the irony is he turns out to have this phenomenal gallery. I used to go there and go, of all people to get rare art.
When he did it, he had
did it. He's the guy who did it. And somehow he winds up loving art, being an artist, and opening one of the best art galleries in New York. And I think it was on 23rd one.
That's a
all the
strange
galleries
story.
were moving from 57th down to the 20s. Who's there? I went, oh my God, he's right here amongst Pace and all these guys that are, you know, Gagosian, all these billionaire people with galleries. This is the guy that spray painted
On Guernica.
So when he spray painted the Picasso, was he into art at that point, or was he
He
just
claimed to be an artist. But it was political movement. And who knows, maybe he knew how to get famous quickly. But he was arrested. He was arrested.
That would do
He
it.
was arrested immediately. I was there when they had a party celebrating this thing many years ago. When he finally retired, I'm going, this is getting crazier by the minute. I mean, how do these things happen? They're dramatic, I figured. This is kind of high drama that a guy, it would be like whoever assassinated the president becomes viral on the internet. Heroically. We want to buy his song. He did a song. I killed him and I tell you why. I mean, it was so convoluted. I don't even know to this day how. You'll see his name. We'll get there. But anyway, interesting guy.
Wow.
Let's just go to that just for a minute.
Okay, yeah. No. Here, wait a minute.
probably
We'll
right
get to the credits there.
There we go.
Okay, hang on. 3 words little, look for it.
Yeah,
you
I'm
can see the documentation
Yeah.
is as serious as text would be.
Here it is.
Okay, who is it?
After Tony Shafati.
Tony Shafati.
Yeah.
Tony Shafati. Actually was an interesting guy.
A collaboration between Tony Shafati and Pablo
Yeah,
Picasso.
no,
That's how it's
no,
listed.
it's
It's listed as after Tony
It's
Shafati
totally
and Pablo
crazy.
Picasso.
But I gotta tell you, he was one of those New York City Studio 54 hotshot guys. And I'm going, God, you can't hate the guy, but you shouldn't admire him. But what a gutsy guy. I mean, the Rent, where his gallery was. It's right next to the Pace and Gagosian, down in West 23rd. I'm going, my God, man! The apartment across the street it was a narrow condo. One of the things, Kevin Klein owned one of the units there, and this was in the highest rent district in New York City. I'm going, this guy is a butcher. What are you people doing celebrating? Then you meet him and talk to him, and you go, God, he's really neat. Oh my God. What did I just think?
Yeah, well, maybe the whole thing was
You don't know, and I'm sure he would never have told me. But it was many years after that he was still upheld as a cool New York guy. But the New York thing and who shows up at Studio 54 and all this kind of crap, there's a lot of bad people there. You know, think about it. You know, there are a lot of they're famous, but they didn't all get it legitimately. Okay, this is very simple. These are 2 refrigerators, literally.
Man
with
Ray.
Chizo, famous thing. Chizo, Xerox things, and this is called sheep art.
This is
An old refrigerator.
you
Yeah.
would put the ice in.
Yeah,
here.
right. That's it. So it's a way of me showing some really great art in the cheapest way you can on refrigerators. And ironically, of course, it's the most expensive art on the planet. And now to tell you a deep, dark secret. Should I?
You're
We
on
won't
film.
tell.
You didn't actually buy the refrigerator. It's just a photo of a refrigerator.
Anyway, but these are mounted on camera. They're
You're
big.
not going to tell
They're
us?
huge. They're life size.
Oh.
The
Oh, these
thing
are
is
cameras. Oh, I
framed.
see the frame. Oh, I see the
that's
frame.
a print with prints on the print.
I see it. I see it. I see it.
But it's big. They're size of a refrigerator.
Well, that's not the secret, though. You're not
No,
going to tell
that's
us?
not the
You're not going to take it to your
No.
grave?
So there's 3 of them.
God.
Because they're 3 vintage type refrigerators. And you recognize that.
Yeah, from
And
before.
you recognize her.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, then you get into all this stuff. Do we need to go on? It's just
Yes,
the idea. No,
yes.
it's just
You
the
know,
idea.
have you ever
It's just the
for
idea.
you to do like a lecture?
But,
Yeah.
but to say
Right.
I'm a total
Slideshow.
analog guy,
Yeah.
I bit the bullet and I did a virtual. This is a whole. This is
like that.
This is a very famous Korean media artist who took television sets and put them together.
Wow.
Very famous guy, and I'm putting in very famous pieces of art. That's on all these television sets. But he also did that one. I mean, I did on top of. I screwed his up, so to speak. Anyway, and I mean, I'm doing this book, and virtual came in, and I'm not against it. It's just that now what we call art has got to be redefined. First of all, in digital, there's no original. There is no original.
Yep.
What does that mean? First of all, the guy didn't draw it. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So it has a lot of huge implications, and I'm not there, and then I'm going, don't cop out. It is art. Figure out how to express this as art. That's what's happened. It's now art, and the difficulties of museums maintaining it and selling it, and how much money, and how do you show it? You got to wire it. You got a whole nightmare now that it's no longer analog. It's technology, it's electricity, it's screens. It's really complicated for a museum to handle. It's not as easy as it was. Everything's changed. And how do you sell it? The guy pays $10,000 for a disc. Hey man, if that gets ripped off, you sell them for 10 cents. 10 grand you paid? I got one for 2 grand online. Another guy that bought it for 10 grand wants his money back. He's selling a bunch of them for 2 grand. Not only will we get his money back, he'll start making money. I mean, these are philosophical and real issues with virtuality. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to do something virtual. It's part of art. If I don't, it's like small-minded, it's prejudicial, I'm judging, I'm pissed off because it became not the old-fashioned way by hand and all this crap. No, don't do it! And I thought, okay, just move on like you do. There's the world, that's the way it is.
Yep.
So I decided to do it, and then keep in mind this is 2000, probably 10 or something like that. What was hot then was a watch. Not the iWatch. There were earlier watches. And me, I'm a real asshole. I don't like the Apple Watch. I like another watch. I forgot the name, maybe in here.
The one that's on your wrist?
I like that watch.
Ooh, that is
yeah.
a...
That's like a billion times. Now, was the technology as good? I doubt it, but I don't have one. I have one. I don't
It
use
sure
it.
looked
But I
good.
have one for this. Okay? The image on there, I'm going along my same old way. That is the first visual piece of art done on a computer. And what it is, we've all seen it. It's the girl that's on the mud flaps of trucks. It's a it's a glamour, not
It's
a
a
glamour
pinup.
shot. What
It's
are they?
a-
Pinup.
yeah,
it's a
it's a
pinup
pinup.
that was done, and 2 guys in the U.S. Air Force were screwing around on an Air Force computer, and the guy drew that. That's the first
Wow.
graphic image other than numbers and symbols. It's the first artwork on a computer.
Wow.
So again, I'm staying with it, and I'm going through the art history of virtual art. These are all art people that are working in virtual art. Every one of them is a not my kind of artist, okay? So all these are artists working with computers. And you'll see their names at the end.
And then
now,
Oculus.
Even VR.
Yeah,
okay?
Oculus with the two.
Yeah, I went as far as I could. These people were doing VR, and there's the deal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I covered my lifetime. I'm busy. I can't go back and keep up and add new art forms. This was art history. I did it. Goodbye. I'm moving on. And here is one extra section. What I was doing, all the pictures that I took, I decided, you know, to get into a museum, you have to be big and famous. To get an installation in any New York art museum, Marvin Albert ain't getting in, no matter what he does. You know what I say? Installation? Fuck it, I'm doing installation. So I went to all my museums and I projected right on their goddamn buildings.
nice.
The Louvre, I projected on everybody's museum. Fuck them, installation, because I ain't getting any installation.
I love it.
Dude,
I love it.
High five.
Now
that.
you saw the show.
Oh, that is
Marvin,
fantastic.
thank you so much.
And the last thing I did is a couple years ago. I don't know where I'm at. The very last thing, did I put it in? I don't think it was. I think the book has already been published. When I say published, that's stupid. I had already printed the book. I don't think it's in here. It's not. I went back to Xerox a couple years ago. Went back to Cafe Voltaire, and I projected the installation show on it. And I'm going to make a postcard of one of the shots where the Voltaire's there and my image from, I'll pick an image, is
so
projected
good.
on top of the entry.
Yes, yes. Oh, woo!
Oh my god. Thank you. That was quite a feat, you going through that book.
Yeah. We just got a history of the last 100 years of
So that
art.
was my
That's
life in art history.
modern art, yeah.
really
Well, and some older stuff, too.
Congratulations just for the effort.
I don't know about
The effort.
that.
Well, it's the effort. I
You
see
go,
the
okay,
work.
here, come and get him. Wacko.
No, that's
No, but I must say, to be on all honesty, I didn't know it would take 15 years. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I initially thought I could do
Oh.
history of art in 12 pieces of paper. That was my goal.
12 pieces of
That's-
paper.
12 pieces. The first piece of paper was about 8 feet long.
Why did you choose 12?
Well, I wasn't looking at 15 years. I 12 pieces of paper, come up with 12 great ideas. But you can't do it in 12 great ideas. You need a lot of ideas, and some of them aren't going to be great.
Oh.
What you need to do is bust your ass and forget everything except how do I incorporate the history of photography? How do I incorporate the history of this? How do I incorporate the history of painted portraits? Not photography portraits. I did that. We didn't stop there. I did that in photo booth strips. So each photo strip booth has 4 portraits and eventually goes through the whole history of painted portraits from Roman times. Anyway, my advice to everyone, don't try it at home or you'll give up your life. I'm lucky I survived it.
Oh.
Anyway,